Hello and welcome to another Solana tutorial. Today we're gonna talk about staking. Specifically stake accounts. Because I do want to have a look at that, how that actually works. I think most of you are familiar with the concept of staking and what it is and what it's used for, but maybe you don't know how it works on a technical level, because neither do I, but I want to have a look at that today. Right now is a good time to do that. I really want to learn about this because my asset recovery tool has become quite popular and people can send out their tokens from their bricked wallets. But what about staking accounts? Some people came to me and were like, well, I have 500 Sol staked. Can I unstake? And I'm like, I don't support that yet, but I should. So here we are. So the goal for today is to add unstaking or really moving of staking accounts to this app. And for that, we need to understand what staking is. Well, we don't really, but I'm gonna briefly explain that as well. We'll have to understand what staking accounts are, how they are created, and how we can work with them, like on a programming level. How we can set the different authority to our staking account. That's the goal for today. Finding out what stake accounts a wallet has and being able to transfer them to another wallet. That's the goal. This is gonna be a win-win-win situation. So the people who brick their wallets get to receive their stake. I have a topic for a video, and we're all learning about staking. So that's a win-win-win. Let's go. I like winning. And I'm totally winning. Yeah, Dad, I'm totally winning. If that Solana sensei texts me like that, then I'm totally winning. So yeah, those are the messages I get. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it. So what the f is staking? So staking is basically the process of delegating your Sol to a validator. And the more Sol is delegated to a validator, the more slots are allocated to that validator. So the more blocks they can produce. So the more stake a validator has, the more influence they have in a network. So this is a way of securing the network. We want to stake with validators who perform well, who are not malicious and don't do anything that we as the community don't like. The validator, when producing blocks, gets rewards, and those rewards are distributed to the stakers, minus a little bit of fee because operational costs. And so the validator makes money and you as the staker make money. Are you really making money? Well, that's I don't know. You can also see that you're losing money if you don't stake your Sol. So stake your Sol. That's one of the simple messages of this video. Just stake your Sol. If you have Sol lying around, you're better off staking it, because if it's just lying around, it kind of loses in value. It doesn't, but compared to if you were to stake it, you're losing value. Staking basically just moves value from the unstaked accounts to the staked accounts. So we're not creating anything through staking, we're moving it around in the network. So you're better off staking your Sol. Cool. How do you do that? How do I stake? You must use wallets that support staking. Those things are somewhat relevant. You can go through that yourself. Maybe 2 words on that. When you stake, it doesn't automatically immediately get activated. It's always at the epoch boundaries. When there's a new epoch, then the staking counts. And so you also have a cool-off period, essentially, of an epoch, I think. When you unstake, I'm not even sure, I never unstaked ever. Yeah, so it's always at epoch boundaries. And that's why there's also immediate unstake, where you can basically move your stake account to some protocol and then they pay you out directly and they will be able to, unstake it and wait and then get the Sol out. I know Marinate does that, but that's not too important for us. Today, I just want to move the entire account as if I was one of those protocols that pay out directly. So that's one thing that we can look into if we don't know how that would work. But let's start with just staking, because the first thing that I need to find out is, how do I know what are my staking accounts? So today we're gonna talk about native staking. There's also liquid staking, where you get a token in return. But today we just have a look at stake accounts. That's the native way how Solana does it. And yeah, the details for timings and stuff are not so important. It might take up to 2 days to activate. And the first thing we need to do is have some Sol. So let's get some Sol. Oh, almost. 8. I don't have that much money, but So we can look at the validators who have the most stake. Coinbase, has the most stake. Staking facilities. Lane, you probably don't want to stake with those directly because they already have quite a lot of stake and we want to decentralize the network. Therefore, we should not stake with the ones that already have a lot. And essentially, it's up to you where you stake. Obviously, you don't want to stake with someone like Kraken directly because they take 100% of the rewards. You want to go with someone that has a few percent. I also don't recommend like 0% because they usually screw you in some way or another. Can't be profitable if they, I mean, or maybe, I don't know how they're profitable, but you know, whatever. I would pick a validator where you know the people who run it. So if you're a fan of Mad Lads, for instance, you could stake with them because then obviously they get their rewards and they have that capital to work with then. There, Super Team Germany. Also provided by staking facilities. Public goods validator, because all of that will fund public goods. And I think I want to stake with them. So how do I do that? Run by staking facilities. That's how you get me to stake with you. Give me a hoodie that looks cool and has transparent arms. Look at that. Amazing. Hot though. It is very hot, this hoodie. Okay, so stake. I do it in the wallet directly. That's the nicest way for me to do it. Open my portfolio here and then I go to staking. Stake now. Unfortunately, I don't have much money and I don't recommend that you just stake such little amounts of SOL because that's just overhead. But I'm gonna close those accounts soon anyway, so I guess I'm okay with that. I don't want to stake with Solflare directly, even though it's recommended by Solflare. Who would have thought? Can I just type super team? We have a super team and we'll have here another super team, this one. And I just hit stake. It doesn't tell me much other than this. I just confirm. And then I check that out on Explorer. We already see here that I get a staking account now. And it's activating. So that means it's not yet active because we're still in the middle of that epoch in which I started staking. So we need to wait until the end of the epoch until it actually is active. So we're activating and it takes another 16 hours. So that's apparently when the next epoch will start. Interestingly, you say 20 hours remaining. Oh, wait, am I on definite? There we go. Okay, I was on definite, sorry. So we have 16 hours remaining. We're 66% done. Nice. Okay, cool. So yeah. That's why this is activating. But yeah, let's have a look what actually happened here. We spent some money onto this account, GHN for the win. Interesting. We used the StakeProgram. That's something that I've never seen. So we'll have a look at that today, I guess. StakeProgram, of course, to transfer, whatever that is. Oh, EHD, that seems to be the validator. Was that the validator? EHD, yep. That's the vote key of the validator, which validator we stake with. So we stake to the correct one, that worked. And we have clock and stake history sysvars. And then we create a system program create account with seed. Oh, nice. The new address is this. Oh, nice. Okay, so, and there we already see it. That's how it's done. It's a create account with seed with that input. I wanted to make a video about this very thing anyway. Yeah, it's basically a way to make up a new address. It's like a PDA, just that it's not owned by a program. You can kind of see it as a PDA of the system program in a way. And I guess it's derived somewhat similarly, but not the same way. And actually, I don't know. But yeah, with that, the system program allows you to create an account without actually signing for it. And we're gonna have a look at that in detail in some other video, I guess. I still want to make that a separate video. So basically, let's just see here with the create account with seed, we create a new account. That's how we created this account. Seed is stake 0 and we transferred some funds, the 0.1 plus what is required for those 200 bytes. And we assign it to the StakeProgram. So this is also important. We assigned it to the StakeProgram, stake 111111. Okay. What else happened here? After we create that account, we initialize stake. So that's with the StakeProgram. That's the address that we should make a stake account. A staker. My withdraw authority address is also this one. So there are two different authorities already. Stake authority and withdraw authority. Lockup custodian address is also me and I don't know what that is at all. And then after we initialize that account, so we made that account a stake account now, similar with tokens, right? We create that account, then we initialize the token account, and then we actually do something with it. And in this case, it's the delegation itself. So with the stake program, we delegate which account? Well, this one, the stake account we just created. And the delegated vote address, this is now the one from the validator. So that's the validator vote key from the Super Team Germany validator. And once again, the authority address is me. Cool, I mean, so far so good. Now, can I, even though it's not even activated yet, unstake? Maybe because it's not even activated yet, it might just go immediately. Unstake the entire thing. Confirm. Cool. Nice. Status unstaked. So what did we do? Basically, we just did a deactivate stake with the stake program and that stake address and that authority. We say, oh, I don't want to stake anymore. So we deactivate stake. And then in a separate transaction, because in this case, I could directly afterwards withdraw, but usually there's a cool-off period, because if it's still being staked, then we need to wait to the epoch boundary until it then finally is unstaked. So then after that's done, I can withdraw and I can close the staking account. Let's do that. I get the sol back, including the rent for the stake account. So what do? We withdraw stake with the stake program, say which stake account, say that we are the authority, say where we want to withdraw to. I mean, I could also build that into my recovery tool, that you first unstake and then later withdraw to an address, but really it would be smarter to just move the authority. So should we have a look at how that would work? No, before we play around with that, we want to find out, well, how can we get all staking accounts now? Because intuitively I see two options. Either we get program accounts for this stake program and check where the authority address of the accounts match. But that's a very resource intensive call, and get program accounts is not the nicest thing to do. But that would be the exhaustive thing to do, where we can definitely be sure that that will work. The other way is to go by how they were created. But I don't know if every program does it the same. Maybe it's just Solflare who does it exactly that way, with the stake 0 and then stake 1 and 2 and 3. I don't know if that's an industry standard that we always do it like that. That's the deterministic way. Because that, I mean, if everybody would do it like that, that would be nice, because then I would need to just look up those accounts. But I think other apps might just do it differently. Let's get our staker here with Phantom. Oh, searching for staking accounts. So that's exactly what I want to do. I mean, the search for stake accounts. How do I do that? I don't know. So Phantom validator, as recommended by Phantom. There's a pattern here, isn't there? Super Team! Also 0.1, let's go. Staking Sol. Wow, I didn't even have to confirm anything, it just does it. So let's see, what account do they create? They do a system program create account. Haha, they do it differently. They do an actual create account. They don't do create account with seed, but they provide a key pair. Which key pair? The FYR. So yeah, FYR. And that is a signer, so that's the difference. Yeah, watch that upcoming video on like create account with seed to see the difference. But yeah, so that means I can't do it that way, that deterministically. I will have to go through querying the accounts for the stake program, because if you can provide any key pair, any address to make it a stake account, then there are thousands, infinite ways to create stake accounts. So we'll have to find a different way. We'll probably have to get program accounts. Good, well that settles that. As with, you know, token accounts, it's chaotic until we came up with the associated token account, and then it's deterministic again. But like this, I'll have to get program accounts. Actually, is there a way? Maybe I find something on Stack Exchange. Somebody else will probably have had that issue. Get staking accounts of wallet on Stack Exchange. Wonderful. Exactly what I was looking for, maybe. Yep, they seem to also do it with get program accounts. A staking account is a token account, so you can use the get token accounts by owner. You sure? I mean, that would just not make sense, but I'm willing to try it anyway if that's correct. But yeah, let's get to the code and try to receive our staking accounts. To the code! Let's get stake minimum delegation, because I'm just interested what that is. Value is 1. Probably my minimum delegation is 1 Lampert, so I can delegate any amount. Am I interpreting that correctly? Maybe. And maybe they're changing that. I don't know. If this staker has minimum delegation to 1 sol, then it's 1. Oh, so that's actual 1 sol. So apparently that feature is not active. Anyway, that's not actually what we're here for. I wanted to get token accounts by owner, which I cannot imagine gives me a stake account. Mint and program ID. So no, I will not filter by mint. Like mint, this is... No, I'll just make the executive decision that this is BS and won't work anyway. What we need to do is get program accounts, or even easier, parsed program accounts, because then it might automatically parse them. We'll see. For staking accounts, it would make sense that they have an automatic parse. So let's see, what do we need? Program ID as the staking program. We have stake config ID, and we have StakeProgram dot program ID. Oh, nice. What else is in StakeProgram? There we have all the things to build the transactions. Nice, that's all here. Whoa, cool. We can split with seed, we can withdraw, we can merge, delegate, deactivate. So it's all here. We can delegate, then we deactivate, and then we withdraw. And we can authorize, and that's gonna be the interesting one. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. First, we need to find all accounts. And I think the get program accounts is what we need to do. What else? Because that will give me like all program accounts, which is gonna be a lot. And we do want to filter. So, but what does the filter need? There we go. We have the mem copy and data size. So we can filter for... It needs to have a specific size. I assume all of the stake accounts have the same size. And I don't think there are any other accounts than stake accounts with the stake program anyway, but maybe. What would that size be? Let's check this account, for instance. I think it was 200 bytes, right? Doesn't tell me much. It has 200 bytes, yeah. So we can say it must have exactly 200 bytes. And we can mem compare and provide offset and the bytes. So now we need to understand how this stake account is actually built. And for that, I always like to just read source code because it's the easiest. We could also, try and find where the things are. But staking is just a word that is used for many things like NFT staking and whatever. I want the native staking, not stake pools or anything, just stake accounts. There we go. Solana stake accounts. That's yet another way that's without a stake. So that's the third way to do it. So there are many ways. So I guess I need to get program accounts. I don't see how else I would do that. I am very overexposed because the sun is just coming out. Programs. Stake. Yes. Staking program. Wonderful. We have instructions and we have state. Yeah, that's what I want. I found it. Stake v2 size off. So where is this stake v2? In the SDK program source. Stake state. So in the SDK we have that stake state. If it's 0, then it's uninitialized. If it's 1, then it's just the meta. If it's 2, then it's the meta and the stake. If it's 3, then we have a rewards pool. Slowly getting there. We have the stake that if it's staked, then it consists of the meta and the stake. The meta has the rent exempt reserve, the authorized, and the lockup. Authorized is the staker and the withdrawer. Pub keys. Okay, let's build a mental model of this. So 4 bytes for the enum. Then let's assume it's a stake account. Meta has an authorized and a lookup. Lookup is just the epoch stuff. Not so important, but the important stuff is the authorized because here we have the stake and the withdrawer. Okay, and with all of that information, we should be able to figure out at which offset our staker actually is. Because, now we have the individual structs, and I can now basically put them inside each other. Like this would go in here, this would go in here, this would go in here. Those would go in here. And those would go in here. So that's the mental model that I built of the stake account now. That's how it looks. So essentially now I just need to count bytes, because all of that is serialized, so it comes one after each other. On the very outside, we have an enum, which is 4 bytes for the discriminator. Let's check if that matches up with what we have here. 4 bytes, 2, so that's 0, 1, 2. We actually have a stake account. So it's already in the stake state, not just an initialized account, but also a delegated account. 0 is nothing, right? If you just have an account that you assign to the staking program, it will be uninitialized because the first bytes will be 0. Then if you actually initialize it, then you get the 1. You can also have a look at that here. That's the initialize step, right? We do this instruction, then it will get to this state. We have the metas written. And then once we do the delegate, then it becomes an actual stake account. And then it has the 2 here. We're doing a deep dive on stake accounts. That's what I promised you. So here we are. Cool. So that's the first 4 bytes. What comes here is the rent exempt reserve. So that's another 8 bytes. Then the authorized, that's the staker. That's another 32 bytes. And here we already are. Right? We don't need to actually go far. Essentially, it's 4 plus 8 bytes. 4 plus 8 bytes. And this thing should then already be the pub key. First one and the second one. And in fact, since staker and withdrawer is the same 32 bytes. You see that? That's exactly the same as that, because they're both the same pub key. So yeah, we've correctly deconstructed that. We have a nice mental model of what the stake account looks like. So to now get back to our filter, we say it must have that size, and then we compare offset. What did we say? 4 plus 8 is 12 bytes. Must have the following actual bytes. The staker public key 2 bytes. Oh, string, that's already base 58 encoded. Okay, base 58 encode. There we go. That works. And that should then, if I get program accounts, give me only my program account. So let's see if that works. Does not work because failed to get accounts, invalid value. Maybe you don't like to get parsed program accounts. Let's just for now do a get program accounts. Same thing. I mean, I would have expected this method is not allowed kind of an error, because the public endpoint doesn't allow get program accounts. That error is just weird. I will still get myself a proper RPC. Helios! What does Helios say? The same. Okay, so it's not that. I am putting in wrong things. I don't think it's the filter. Now I'm getting all program accounts of the stake account. I mean, is that work? Will that work? At least I'm not getting the parameter error, at least not quickly, but I'm annoying the poor Helios RPC to give me all of the accounts. I'm sorry, but I had to test where my error is. Oh, maybe I can only do one of those. Maybe only the data size or the mem copy. Could that be? The mem compare, sorry. I mean, the size, it's not that relevant anyway. Yeah, that was it. Okay, we can't have both. Just one. Just the mem compare. That's enough. Okay. We mem compare for offset 12 that it's this public key. Cool. And what do we get back? One account. Wonderful. Nice. The public key of this account is the FYRX. Yeah, that's the one that we just created with Phantom. And if we had several stake accounts, because we also staked, yeah, why not? Okay, with software, why not? We also staked with this one with a stake 0 to get the GHN stake account. Then I should get 2 accounts here. Yeah, there we have it. That's the one and that's the other one. Wonderful. We figured out how to get all stake accounts. Admittedly, we have to go through the get program accounts, which is really not a nice thing to do, but I don't see any other way. Is there any more efficient way than this? I don't think so, because you can create the stake account in any possible way. So I don't have a better solution than this. I think I need to spam the RPC with GPA requests. Damn. But yeah, that's at least a working way to do it. And then we have all our staking accounts. Wonderful. So now that we have the staking accounts, we can now figure out how to move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. So let's say my account was compromised or bricked in the way that we know here, right? Let's say this account, I couldn't send from it. And I wanted to just move my stake accounts. How would I do that? So we would StakeProgram.authorize. Generate a transaction that authorizes a new public key as staker or withdrawer on the stake account. Staker or withdrawer. Well, that's maybe a good time to figure out what the difference is. What's the staker and what's the withdrawer? Well, the withdrawer kinda, the name suggests, is the guy who can remove the stake. And the staker, I would assume, is the one who has the authority over moving the stake account and delegating it to someone else. So if I delegate, for delegating, I think I need to be the staker, and for withdrawing, I need to be the withdrawer. Should we test that? We could get into the difference later. So if I say authorize, what does that need? New authorization pub key and the type. So let's say, where do I find those types? Stake authorization type. Aha. And then here we have it. So that's a number. And then staker and withdrawer is also a number. So probably I need to do it like this, that I actually write layout.staker. Okay. I see. Internally it handles it as indexes. Okay, fine. Cool. Then the authorized pub key, that's for now my staker. And then the new authorized pub key will be the new staker. And I'm gonna use one of my other wallets here. What else do you need? Stake pub key. Of course, which account do we actually change? We should also specify that. Just gonna take this stake account here. I'll just hard code it. That's what we get from the get staking accounts. Okay, wonderful. That gives me a transaction. Wow, okay. It doesn't even give me an instruction, it gives me a transaction. So possibly I can only do that one transaction at a time, those authorize. I will try later, but for now. Okay, wait this and see what we get. Let's see if we can move stake. And by that I just changed the authority of the staker. Too many requests. Wow. Yeah, it just doesn't like GPA. And I didn't even do GPA. I'm literally going back to the public one. Can I change the authority? Yeah, I can. Check this. We signed a transaction. We did a stake program authorize. Nice. The type is the staker. That's the address. That's the old address. And this is now the new staker. Which means if I check my wallet, I only have one stake account anymore. But if I check the other wallet, oh, nope, shit. Maybe because I can't withdraw with it yet. So it's now in a limbo state. Damn, where did I put my stake account? It's not here, it's not here. Well, I guess we will also want to authorize for withdraw. So let's send a second instruction where we do the exact same thing, except we don't set the staker, but the withdrawer. Send that as well. There we go. Probably nothing particularly surprising here. It's gonna be the exact same thing, except we now change the withdrawer as well. So, but now that both the withdrawer and the staker authority is this guy, now I should see it here, hopefully. Yes! Now I've basically moved the stake account. And the old stake account is just now for this guy. Because there's no real link. You just need to create any account on Solana and make it a stake account. It can be any account, so it does, like, it's not bound to one user, so we can move the account by just authorizing it. You can do the same with token accounts, but it's not a clean way. For staking accounts, actually, I don't see why not, because it's created with a random key pair, so that's fine. And that's the kind of solution that I want to have for my recovery tool. I will add a section for stake accounts, and then you can also move them. But now, one more thing to make this more efficient, I would really like to do it in one transaction, such that I don't need to have the user sign 2 transactions. But I'm afraid that that's not working because the stake program won't allow it. I'm gonna try it anyway. For that, we wanna analyze what's happening here. Instructions. We have just one instruction to the stake program, so that should be fine. I don't see why I wouldn't put that. So I could try something like change the withdraw authority, then instruction 2, change the staking authority, and then put that in a transaction, and then send that. We have one more stake account. Where was it? The G, this one. Because this one was already moved. Let's see if I can move that one in one transaction. Move stake. Will it go through or will it not go through? It will go through. Nice. Can do both of that in one. Nice. I can have 2 authorize in one transaction. Wonderful. So with this one transaction, I've now also moved the second stake account to here. Cool stuff. I like it. Software pretends that the 0.1 sol on their validator is worth more than the 0.1 sol on the Germany validator. Yeah, sure, Software, sure. Does Phantom do the same? Oh, because it has fewer sol actually. We have the rent reserve and the balance is 0.1 plus the rent reserve. Okay, so that's another difference how Software does it. I see. Okay, so if I stake with Solfrare, they put the rent additionally, which is what I would actually expect. Phantom just puts in what I put in as stake so that the amount that I put in is correct, but then it's not actually that much in the stake account because some of it is also used as rent. Anyway, so many different ways how to do the staking and many different ways how to get the stake account to a different wallet. We could also unstake and then restake or whatever, but I really don't want to unstake with bricked wallets because as soon as the sol goes to the bricked wallet, it's lost. So I better just change the authorization of the stake accounts to a new wallet. This to me seems like the cleanest way how to get the stake out of the bricked wallets, which is ultimately what my goal was here. Now I just need to implement this, that I find the stake accounts here and let you actually move them. Cool, I think we learned enough about staking accounts. I mean, I'm happy with that. I'm now gonna implement this part such that you can unstake or move your stake accounts from your bricked wallets. That's just gonna be me coding. I don't think it's very interesting, so I'm just gonna skip to the point in time where I'm done with that. And then we can conclude. Yeah, I hope that you learned something about stake accounts and staking and authorizing. And it's really simple, actually. Like the Web3.js has those nice functions that just let you build the transactions and it's basically done. Super simple stuff. There will be another video on the system program create account with seed that we saw today, which is another interesting topic, I think. So yeah. Look forward to that. Watch some other videos. Make sure you subscribed, like the video. Also make sure that you don't delegate your sol to some scammers by authorizing your wallet or your staking accounts to malicious sites. Because again, I mean, an attacker can use exactly that to steal your stake accounts. It's as simple as that. It's as with, you know, assigning the ownership of the wallet. It's just make themselves the withdraw of that account and boom, you lost your stake account. So be careful with that. Oh, and that's another thing. Do wallets warn if the stake account is moved? They should. And we will see that in a second once I develop the tool. But yeah, I guess they display warnings and then you'll just have to ignore them. But don't ignore them if you don't know what you're doing. Like if you don't purposely move your stake account to another authority. Okay, let's build that tool. Oh, we could have looked at the parsed account as well. What happens if I do get parsed program accounts instead? Interesting. If I parse the account, then I get the data and stuff. So, then we get the parsed information as well. So in the account, the data, the parsed has an info with meta, authorized staker withdraw. That's exactly how it looks like, right? As we discussed here, right? how the meta looks like, how the stake looks like. That's exactly what this thing is returning to me as well. The staker, the withdrawal, then the lookup stuff, and the stake. All neatly parsed if I do get parsed program accounts. Pretty cool. So I think that's what I want to do as well when I build this. Oh, that looks good. Look at that. Look here. I have my 2 stake accounts. Remember those addresses. Those are the 2 validators. Then I can even set recover, which doesn't do what it should do yet. Yeah, but that's good. That's good. We're getting somewhere. I'm gonna again duplicate code because I'm lazy. Yeah, don't do as I do. Please just have one model and one flip where you switch between stake and token recovery. But I just can't be bothered to do it, to write clean code. I want to write quick code because I have things to do as well. And I'm not paid for that, by the way. I'm doing all of that for free for you guys who brick your wallets. Okay, now focus again. This is the important part. Don't mess this up. You're gonna cost people a lot of money if you mess this up. The worst thing is they can't even properly simulate or see what's happening, right? Because wallets don't properly display that. We'll have a look at that. Just gonna copy the code from what I had earlier with move stake. New stake, that's the destination. And the stake account is the accounts pub key. The payer is the payer pub key. That's still the important part. And I guess that's it. Let's see. If I were to want to recover this guy. Oh, nope, that's not it. Too many requests. Too many requests. Oh, the RPC will hate me. Recover. Aha, look at that. Okay, let's recover. Let's recover this one back to my staker. Recover. It's looking good. Oh, look at that. Okay. So if I move the stake account, so change the authority, then it will tell me you're allowing this website to transfer away your staked sol. And that's exactly what we're doing. Again, great that Phantom gives us this warning, because in most cases, you don't want that. You really don't want that, unless you bricked your wallet and you need to transfer it to a new wallet that you own, such that you can have your stake back. So let's say yes, we ignore this warning. Can we somehow see where we transfer it to? We cannot. I mean, we just see the data and the program, but we don't see where we withdraw to. Because otherwise I would really like you to check that you're actually withdrawing to your account, because I'm afraid that somebody will just copy my site and make it look the exact same. And then when you recover it, even though you put in your address, it recovers it or sends it to their account. And the problem is you can't really check it. Like Phantom doesn't really show it, like where it's recovered to. Does Solver do a better job here? Probably not. They don't even show the instructions, right? So if I were to recover this, it also says staking account transfer. Approving this transaction will transfer control of your staking account to a third party. I understand. But I still cannot see which the third party is. So that's a bit annoying, unfortunately. But I guess you'll just have to trust my app, which I really don't like. I don't like trust. I like verifying. But I don't see how you can do that. Checking the console output, but even that can be faked and everything. So in the console output, here we have the simulation, and yeah, also the simulation doesn't say much. It's just invoking the StakeProgram twice. Here you see where I'm sending it to. Yeah, that's all just too difficult to check, really. I mean, I really don't like that you just have to trust the application. But then again, it's your fault that you got into this position anyway, because you shouldn't have transferred your freaking main account away. Ugh. Anyway, so yeah, let's go here and actually approve this. And transaction sent. What the transaction does is my payer pays, so I'm paying for your transaction. You don't have to. You don't have to. You just need to sign. And your stake account that you specified is being authorized for withdrawer and for staker to the given new authority that you entered. That's what should happen if nobody freaking hijacked my site or build another copy of that site. Which, don't freaking do that, you freaking scammers, assholes. I hate you. You're the reason why I have to build this in the first place. Fucker. But anyway, so yeah, that should just work. If we go to our staker, then we should see that it has a stake account again. Will it find my stake account again? Yes, I have one stake account. Yay! Nice. Cool. I think that works. That was simpler than I thought to put that in there. I'm gonna publish this. So, Solana Asset Recovery, Versal.app. Connect your bricked wallet. Should find your stake accounts. There we go. We have my stake account. And I can recover that to a non-bricked wallet. And we will get the warning. We will confirm. And the transaction goes through. And our stake account goes to that other wallet. We should now here have both of our stake accounts again. Wonderful. And we could unstake as normal. So I'm not doing any instant unstaking or anything. I just moved the stake account to another wallet, which seems like the safest thing to do for me. Please only really use this tool if you absolutely have to. You should not use this if your wallet works normally, because I don't even trust it. Like, okay, I mean, I trust it. I developed it. I know what it does, but it's not a nice way to do that. You should not do that unless you already bricked your wallet and you have no other choice to get your stake back than to use this tool. Then fine, go ahead at your own risk. Don't blame me if it's suddenly sent somewhere else and you cannot ever recover it again. Don't blame me. But as far as I can tell, it works. And it sends to the address that you specify. Also, make sure you specify the correct address, of course. But, you know, it's risky to use this. I'm just saying it's very risky to use this. But if you have no other choice, then be my guest and move your stake accounts. Okay, good. I would call that a successful day. We staked, we moved stake, and we unstaked without the stake actually being ever active because we didn't even wait an epoch boundary. But you get the idea. You get what this is about. I hope you learned something about stake accounts. I hope you learned to be careful with them. And that's all I have for you today. Here's some other videos. Like and subscribe. Make sure to stake your soul. And I'll see you in the next video. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to unstake myself out of here.